to the soliamechling show. Today we are going to be talking about some crazy topics that I'm sure all of us girls have seen running rampant around social media. But before we begin, please give this video a like and a subscribe and a comment because it means so much to me. It's the little thing that you guys can do for me, pouring so much into this because I want to get you guys the best content possible. I'm sure you guys have seen at least some stuff circulating around your For You page as well as I did mine, but the Victoria's Secret show happened, I think, either this past week or the week before, and Victoria's Secret has always had this controversy around it, but it had a 5-year break. They got a lot of pushback, right? So we had this era of 2020, like, we need to be inclusive to every single body type and every single person and all of this and all of that and yada, yada, yada. So Victoria's Secret got a lot of pushback because, right, their models look like Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid, very beautiful women, and their physique is perfect, and they're held to this incredible standard, right? And I think that if we can break this down a little bit, because I feel like I bring a little bit of a nuanced perspective. I hope I do, but I want to break this down for you guys even further, right? So as a young girl growing up, you see a lot of things of insecurities and the big, beauty industry profiting off of young girls' insecurities, which is not okay. It's, something that every girl has to deal with and struggle with growing up. And it is a struggle. It is hard. It is difficult. But I want to say that, looking at Gigi Hadid and Bella Hadid and Barbara Sprouse and all of these incredible women that were models and are gorgeous, and understanding that what they do is what an athlete does, right? So when I look at a football player, I don't automatically assume that I could do that or I could look like that. Because of course it takes so much training to have that physique and to have that capability for what they do, and I have so much respect for that. Same thing with models, right? They train day and night. That is their job. They are paid to look like that. And that works for them, but that's not going to work for every single person. I also think models were treated really, really badly in the early 2000s and even on. I hope that has changed. I feel like it has possibly changed a little bit, but a lot of them did have eating disorders. A lot of them were unhealthy. And I think now, they're a little bit healthier, and they work out a lot, and that's what they're paid to do. And so what I'm trying to say is that unrealistic standard is okay if you realize it's an unrealistic standard. And I think Victoria's Secret has done a little bit of a better job branding themselves as, not now, but a couple years ago, branding themselves, and with the rise of social media, you guys can see a little glimpse into a model's life, and you can understand that there's a lot of training, there's a lot of eating certain foods and a lot of restrictions, and you understand that this isn't a feasible physique for every single woman out there, and that's okay. And every girl struggles with insecurities. Every girl struggles with things that you want to change, but as a Christian too, we're all beautifully and wonderfully made in the image of God, which is incredible. Just going back to Victoria's Secret for a little bit, 2020 was big of like, let's include every single body and body positivity and this and that and that. And I think there can be so much body positivity that it just goes completely one way. So for me, Victoria's Secret used to be something that was in a way a little aspirational, and it was fun to kind of watch and be like, wow, these women are gorgeous. And not saying that women in bigger bodies aren't gorgeous, that's not what I'm saying. But it's supposed to be this unrealistic expectation. And, I know that there's people struggling with their weight and this and that. But I also don't think we should be glorifying obesity or saying that it's okay, because both sides of the scale are bad, right? If you're not eating and you're extremely skinny, that's not healthy. But, if you're overeating and you're not very active, that's also to the other extreme. And we shouldn't say that that's okay, because both are unhealthy, and we need to kind of talk about that. But I thought a lot of the Victoria's Secret models looked beautiful. I thought Bella and Gigi Hadid looked gorgeous. I forget the name of the woman, but she was a pregnant model and absolutely stunning. I hope Victoria's Secret can, obtain their 2016 era. I know that they had beauty standard backlash with their angels, but, I think if we just showcase that, these models, that's how they look because of all of their things, then we don't need body positivity, and we don't need to glorify obesity or glorify an eating disorder that, makes you extremely skinny. We just need to have healthy people, and we need to understand that our food in America is really messed up. And I could go on and on and on about all of this, but basically what I just want to say is that I think there can be so much diversity. I think it's important to showcase other people from other places and different dynamics and all sorts of that stuff. But the Victoria's Secret were supposed to be something aspirational and unattainable. And when I look at Gigi Hadid, I say, wow, I really do want to eat a salad and go hit the gym, and that's a little aspirational for me because I'm like, okay, I need to start working out again. I need to do this and do that. And it's a little helpful. It gives you a little push of motivation. But I also think that, the beauty standards in the 2010s were very extreme and also led a lot of young girls to have the insecurities they do today, as well as social media doesn't help with that. But that's also an entirely other conversation. I do also want to talk about what's happening to J.K. Rowling because it's very interesting. So if you didn't know, you should, but J.K. Rowling made the entire Harry Potter series book, and she's accused of being transphobic because of comments she made on Twitter, X, and literally she's just saying that she wants women's rights and believes that sex is biology, that you cannot change your sex. So she has common sense, and she has all of this backlash from people in the Harry Potter fandom. She has backlash from Emma Watson, and all of these other people that she literally started their careers with this incredible book, and she's getting backlash because she's stating simple facts, and she's standing up and she's saying, I am a feminist, I am for women's rights. That's not going to change now just because feminism says that now it's okay to include men under that umbrella as well. And I want to clarify that I wouldn't say I'm a modern day feminist. I do believe in women's rights though. I definitely want to fight for the freedom and the independence and the rights of women without men or trans women who are men kind of ripping that from women. We fought so much for all the stuff we have. We fought so hard to be in sports and to be voting and to have opinions, and right now speaking through the screen is feminism. It was because our grandmothers fought for this and our great-grandmothers fought for this, and it's being attacked by liberal ideology who also think they're feminists as well. It's confusing, but it's happening in real time, and a lot of people like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson publicly disagree with her, which is okay, but they distance themselves from her. They say that, we don't really identify with that, that they're really stumped about that. And for somebody who kickstarted your career, I would hope you at least have a little respect for them. I hope that you can put your disagreements aside for 1 second. But it's really difficult when the other party doesn't want to put those differences aside and want to hold on to them and want to hold on to their opinions as their personality. Your opinions are not your personality. They make up a lot of who you are, but they shouldn't be the defining factor of if you're going to hang out with this person, if you're going to respect this person. We should equally be respectful to everyone. And we also need to tell the truth because that's respectful and that's loving as well. And I'm so happy that J.K. Rowling is talking about this because it's important. She's such a big voice for this. She's okay with the backlash. She's saying, come after me. I'm standing up for women's rights. And, when Keira Knightley was asked about this, and I'll insert the clip right here.
Saw you're voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. I think we're all living in a period of time right now where we're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
She just summed that up so beautifully, more than anybody has. She has respect for J.K. Rowling, and she talks about the fact that as a society, we're going to have to figure out how to live with each other, and we're going to have to figure out how to live with different opinions, and that's That's fair. That's incredible that she said that. And I've always loved Keira Knightley, especially in Pride and Prejudice and Pirates of the Caribbean. I have always thought she was one of my favorite actresses, and even when she's saying this, it just makes me love her more. But it's so wild to me, boiling down, that feminism now is something that says men can't have an opinion because you don't have a uterus, but men can also get pregnant even though you don't have a uterus.
Didn't learn. We didn't learn from last time. We didn't. So, we didn't learn. Comprehension.
It is confusing when feminists, all they say is oxymorons. All they say is that, you know, we need to create a space for women, but also a space for trans women who are really men. You know, we need women to be in roles of leadership, but it's okay if trans women take over those roles of leadership, which are also men. And we need women to be safe in sports, and we need women to be safe in bathrooms, but also let's overtake that with trans women who are really men overtaking that as well. And I'm tired of, you know, feminists idly sitting by while our rights, my rights, the rights of you guys and even younger are being taken away, and I will not let that happen, and I will not let that happen at all. You know, I'm not going to sit silent. I'm not going to sit idly by while trans women are ripping real women of their hard-earned, hard-worked sports medals and trophies and jobs and positions. I'm not letting that happen as an athlete, as a current athlete, and I competed at a very high level in a lot of sports. I know the dedication and the time and the tears and the blood and the sweat and the canceling of plans, and I can't do this, and I have to dedicate myself this. I know the 5 a.m. wake-ups, and I know the 10 a.m. go-to-sleeps, and do it all again and repeat, and you're working out, and you're doing school, and you're balancing it all. It makes it horrible when somebody can just identify flippantly as the opposite sex and not even have to try half as hard because their biological makeup, and they beat you in it. That, my friends, is unfair.